Welcome to Raiders Roundtable, brought to you by America First Credit Union. I'm JT, 54 career interceptions for that guy. Eric Allen, again on a down note, the Raiders lose a game they should have won. The Rams were begging them to come back and win that game, but the turnover battles were the key again for the Raiders. Too many penalties, too many turnovers. That was the key to the game.
That was the key, and coming to the season, JT, I think we all understood that defense and running the football would be key for this football team to be able to win football games. We did that pretty well yesterday, but the turnovers, and you're right, the penalties, man. The penalties out of nowhere, like 10 penalties yesterday. More importantly, the turnovers killed us, and 0 for 2 in the red zone. Not being able to score in the red zone was also a big, huge key there. But I tell you, JT, have to find a way to find the positives in this situation and get ready to go to Kansas City.
Let's start with your three big things. Brock Bowers is dominating. Came into this league out of Georgia. We knew he was great. The greatest tight end in the history of college football with the 2 Mackey Awards, 2 national championships, and he's almost unguardable.
Man, he's just such a great job. When you talk about inline tight end, of course, if he's hot, you can kind of put a linebacker over him, even sometimes put a defensive end over him, have the safety there. But because Brock lines up in all these different spots and does great with running the routes, he kind of isolates defenders. So you're not going to really be able to dub. You see all these spots, he's outside. That's like a wide receiver. You can't move a linebacker or a defensive end over him if he's outside like that. That's what makes him so great. Look at that. Being able to sit in that hole, provide the quarterback your numbers, and now here, I'll give you a little shake here, sit down in zone, run through in man. And one thing he does as good as any young player is after contact, he's continuing to get yards. So we love Brock being able to line up all over the football field. That's a plus. Being able to target him, and then his range of his catching, he's up top, he's down low, off the shoestrings, does it all. This young man, one of the best tight ends in the game right now. Love how he's playing.
I love his targets. I didn't want him to get lost. He can't have a 4-target game.
Right.
He's 14 targets, 10 receptions.
That's right.
The most ever for a tight end through this many games as a rookie. So he's what got this team going.
Yeah.
And we got to stay with him.
That's right.
Kansas City's coming to town. We'll get to that, Travis Kelce and his career. But I just love the fact that the organization, the play caller, the head coach know that this is our star.
Right.
He's a rookie on offense. Get him the football.
You have to get him the football, JT. And what he's going to start doing is opening other things up for other players. Obviously, we want that big-time receiver to come in. Hopefully, Jacoby Myers gets back. So now you have that 1-2 punch. But we all know, red zone, you're comfortable going with Brock Bowers. In the middle of the football field, you're comfortable going with Brock Bowers. Starting to see some more things on the reverses. So he still has a lot in his bag to be able to give to this Raiders football team, but we know when it's a critical downs, third down, we have to go to Brock Bowers, and he has been delivering as only Brock Bowers can.
Another positive is third down defense. The Rams were 2 of 10. That's fantastic.
Yes.
That's how you win a football game.
That's right.
You win a football game by playing that type of defense on third down. I think Patrick Graham had Matthew Stafford dialed in.
Yes.
He didn't have Cooper Kupp and Puka.
Right.
They knew that they were limited there, and I thought the Raiders did an outstanding job. The defense did enough to get off the field on third down and win that game.
They did, and third down is so important because what it does is give you opportunities for your offense to, of course, get back on the football field, get that time possession, hopefully take some shots and get those things going offensively. But third down defense is critical, particularly against this Rams team. And I love what Patrick Graham was able to do. He heated those Rams up. You saw, and look at that. That's a zero blitz, JT.
Yeah.
That's bringing everyone. So that's saying I have confidence in my secondary to be able to cover that. Look at that. Great pressure off the edge. We have our free safety coming out of the deep third into the box. One more time here. We get a great stop.
That was a big
Tackling has been an issue for us. It showed up big time yesterday with a couple tackles for loss. He would say, hey, that's your guy right there. That's Nate Hobbs right there on third down, making a big play coming out of that second wave of defenders. Look at our guy Spillane here. Great job here of the defense. And we love Jacory Bennett. But on that play, the eyes of Robert Spillane really did a great job on that second level, forcing the quarterback to have to make an errant throw. And then our guy, Jacory Bennett, right there on the money, like he's been almost all year long. He's been key on third down, getting a lot of pass breakups. But you have to have great pressure on third down. You have to have that middle of the defense, if they're blitzing, be able to get there. And we've been able to do that. And then on the back end, those corners and nickels, being able to to cover down and be sticky on that defense, and we were that way yesterday in third down. One of the best third down defenses in all of football. We have to keep that trend going, get more pressure on the quarterback, and hopefully get some more turnovers to give our offense a better chance of scoring in those critical situations.
Well, let's segue to the turnovers. Minus 13 differential, worst in football by a lot. This is a big problem around here.
It's historic.
And Antonio Pierce sits down with me every week and talks about it. So it's not like they're not coaching it. They're talking about it, and they're talking about it constantly. But when the game starts, in a couple of these games, the pick six in Denver, what happened in this game with 3 interceptions, it can't happen. This team needs to win football games. You can't do it with this many turnovers.
Yeah, JT, you're right. I mean, and it's just not the turnovers. It's they score every time off the turnover. So it's where you're getting the turnovers up. And usually you're emphasizing those turnovers in practice. You know, if it's ball security, you know, your running back is kind of echoing, hey, I have to make sure I get the ball tucked away. But these turnovers here are so difficult because they're situations. It's your quarterback making those decisions. That's a smaller target as a receiver. That ball, when he's running the crossing route, has to be put on the front numbers in front of him. Here, you have to recognize, this is a team turnover here because offensive line-wise, we have to understand where the pressure is coming from. We have to notice that. Here, this one, you have to throw the ball away. Look where you are on the football field, Jay. That's an errant throw. That's a poor decision by a quarterback. And those are the kind of things, I understand you're a gunslinger, but you have to find a way to kind of settle down in the pocket, understand who you are, what you're dealing with, and know that those turnovers in those critical situations, you can't have those. I'm okay with that deep shot at times, but in those areas when you have a lead, when you're in positions where you're in the critical areas, either backed up, you know you have to throw that football away. So those are the things we have to work out as a quarterback of this football team, because you can have a great running game like we did yesterday. You can have great third down defense like we did yesterday. The turnovers will always prevent you from winning football games.
And real quickly, you talked about only 3 takeaways. Hard to do it when teams have the lead and they want to run the football and they're not throwing it in the air.
That's right. Complementary football. It's just not, you know, your run, your pass, but it's a team-wide when we talk about complementary football. If your team is giving you a double-digit lead, that opposing team's going to have to throw the ball to catch up. And that's when you're able to get those interceptions, those tip balls and overthrows that we love to talk about so much. But you're right, JT. It's about complementary football, trying to get up by a double-digit lead, forcing those football teams to have to take those chances. If they're always playing from the lead, all they're going to do is hand that football off, JT.
You always tell me that.
That's
you always tell me that. Rich Gannon, our former MVP, is going to join us next. He'll break down the quarterback play as we continue on Raiders Roundtable. Raiders Roundtable is brought to you by America First Credit Union, the official credit union of the Las Vegas Raiders.
You're doing it.
You got this.
Yes, this is great.
We want you to start every day with the charge you need. So we're giving you this home charger and covering the cost of standard installation. The Ford Power Promise, electric vehicle confidence from day one.
Get 1.9% APR financing for 72 months, plus the Ford Power Promise on Ford Mustang Mach-E. Only at your Southern Nevada Ford dealers.
Hey Raider Nation, when you come to see the Raiders take the field at Allegiant Stadium, you should do it from the best seats in the house. So grab an ice cold Coors Light, and you can enter to win tickets for these Coors Light silver seats at Allegiant Stadium. With plush seating, state-of-the-art beverage coolers, and wireless phone chargers, there's no better place to watch your Raiders bring home the win. Celebrate responsibly.
In 300 feet, turn left.
With Cox's fiber-powered internet, you can do brilliant things.
Exit approaching.
Like upload your voice to Dad's GPS in no time flat.
And I miss you, Daddy. Happy birthday.
Get multi-gig download speeds powered by fiber. Upgrade your internet today with Cox, the nation's fastest internet provider. Limited availability in select areas.
Dude, you're looking ice cold.
You look ice cold, bro.
Guys, somebody's coming. Somebody's coming.
Let's do it.
There comes a day,
When I'll be the one
you dream.
it's gonna.
It's gonna be me.
Dude, are you crying?
Celebrate 65 seasons of Raiders football. Be a part of our legacy with a special edition brick featuring the exclusive 65th anniversary logo. Get your brick installed at Allegiant Stadium along with a replica for your home or office. Order now and support the Raiders Foundation, benefiting military and veterans, wellness initiatives, and youth development. Secure your place in Raiders history today at RaidersFoundationBricks.com.
Welcome back, former MVP Rich Gannon, kind enough to join us every week. And Rich, it's really unfortunate for Aiden O'Connell. He's getting his opportunity to take back control of the team. The thumb injury, really wanted to see him play the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, that's so unfortunate, JT. You know, that type of injury for a quarterback, it's almost unavoidable. And you hate to see a guy that did some good things last year get the chance to play finally and then, get hurt so quickly. And in fairness, when you evaluate the quarterback position, I say this all the time, so much of what happens at the quarterback position is impacted by what's going on around him, right? In other words, if the offensive line's playing well, you're running it well, you get some good contributions from the receivers on the perimeter and stuff, then it's a lot easier to evaluate that position. But I think in fairness to Aiden O'Connell, you don't have Devontae Adams. You don't have Jacoby Myers. You've struggled running the football a little bit better yesterday against a, very average Rams defense. But, it's tough. It's tough to get your opportunity. You finally get your opportunity. Then you don't have all the pieces and playmakers around you. And, look at the Raiders receivers yesterday. They combined for 49 yards receiving on 5 catches. So there's not a lot of production there. But I feel bad for Aiden O'Connell because I thought he did a lot of good things as a rookie last year.
Yeah. As a quarterback, you've been in starting roles, you've been an MVP, you've been a backup. What is it like with the backup coming off of, being benched and then getting back into the football game? How do you have to, Gardner, how do you have to kind of take that role?
It's tough, EA, as from being on so many teams, you just know how critical that position is, right? The quarterback position. You're just one play away from being out. So you need to have depth and talent at that position. And, Gardner Minshew was in a good situation yesterday. Probably didn't get a lot of practice reps, but keep in mind, he started the season. And so when he jumped in there, it should have felt very comfortable for him, should have felt very comfortable for the guys in the huddle. You're used to his cadence. You're used to his huddle command. And so, I really felt like when he stepped in there that this team would have a chance to move the ball and to, convert some first downs. But unfortunately, the turnovers continue to be an issue for this football team. He was responsible for 4 of them yesterday, 3 interceptions. And some of them really bother me. The red zone interception, again, another turnover down in that part of the field. If I was coaching the quarterbacks for the Raiders, I'd make them go into the classroom and write on the chalkboard 100 times the rules of the red zone. We don't have penalties, turnovers, or sacks on that part of the field. And that's just something that you just simply can't tolerate. And then, you look at the turnovers. The Raiders have 16 turnovers this season. That's the most in the NFL. They're a minus 13 in the turnover differential, which is the worst. They've only got 3 takeaways, which is the second fewest. So you just simply can't win that games. 10 turnovers the last 3 games. They've been outscored 37-3 the last 3 games when you look at the turnovers, and teams are capitalizing when they take away the ball. So, that's AP's been talking about this all season long. It's one of the reasons why Gardner Minshew got showed the bench, because he wasn't taking care of the football. And again, yesterday, those same issues hurt the Raiders.
Rich, it's important that we get into this because Gardner, it's not all on him. The offensive line's breaking down when he got blown up and the ball came out. That's not on him. But what I'm really shocked about is he's made so many plays in this league outside the pocket. I mean, mobile. Start him out, sprint him right, let him roll out, let him make some plays there. And they're not doing that. And I'm surprised because he's turning it over so much that when he sits in the pocket, it's almost like he's a sitting duck to get the ball out. And then he's making a couple of bad decisions that are costing the Raiders game. Again, it's not all on him, but he's got to be a lot better. He was brought in here to win games and maybe not manage games, take this team from behind. And they had a chance to do it. It was almost like the Rams were begging the Raiders to come back and win that game.
I think when you're playing this poorly, JT, I think there's plenty of blame to go around for everybody. Luke Getsy, the play caller, doing some things differently, offensive line play. But at the end of the day, we're responsible. The quarterback's responsible for the ball. And I think when you look at the 3 interceptions really bother me. And let's just talk about them for a second. I talked about the red zone interception. We saw that a couple of weeks ago. It's a really bad decision, moving to his left, not setting his feet, throwing the ball down the field where the receiver's not sure what's going to happen. It was an easy interception for the Rams. The second interception bothered me maybe even more. They have a blitz off the edge. He doesn't see it. He doesn't recognize it. It's not picked up. He gets hit as he's throwing the football. And that was the fumble, that the ball goes on the ground. So, that one really bothered me, the fumble. And then you get an interception on a crossing route where he throws it behind the intended receiver, DJ Turner. And that's on the quarterback. That's I wouldn't even say it's a difficult catch. It's almost an impossible catch. You got a receiver running across the field going full speed. It's behind him. It's an easy interception for the defender. And, those are the types of things we can blame the play call. We can blame the scheme. At the end of the day, you got a quarterback that's not playing well right now. And I don't think it's a confidence issue with Gardner Minshew. I just think it's a decision-making issue right now. And, I don't know what to do. I mean, I wish Aiden O'Connell wasn't hurt. I wish we could see more of him. But the quarterback position right now is really holding back this football team. And, we see it in other cities, right? We saw it in Carolina. We saw it in Cleveland. When you don't have production and consistency at that position, it's so hard to win in the NFL.
One more question for me on the turnover situation. You were in such great control of this offense when you were the MVP and you were the leader of this football team. How do you stress and emphasize turnovers when I guess the turnovers are not like ball security, it's a decision that's made by the quarterback in a pressure situation? How do you kind of get that gunslinger to not be a gunslinger in those situations? What do you have to do the week in practice to kind of figure that out, how that quarterback is going to react in those pressure situations?
EA, the best advice I ever heard came from Bobby Knight. He said that bench is a great motivator. And, when the player's not playing well, that butt sees the bench, and the butt recognizes the bench and the whole deal, and then the player realizes I ain't playing. And that resonated with me when Marty Schottenheimer told me when I went to Kansas City, if you don't take care of the football, you will not play here. He didn't say you won't start here. He said, you won't play here. I won't keep you here.
Wow.
And when that resonated with me, like if you don't protect the football, you're not for long in this league. These coaches can't tolerate it. There's consequences for it. Like if you don't take care of the football, somebody's getting fired. That's right. That's the reality of our profession. Like either it's the play caller, the quarterback coach, the head coach, the general manager, somebody gets fired.
Yeah.
I mean, and we see it every year in the NFL. We fired 30 head coaches in the last 4 seasons. 30. You just fired Bill Belichick. Why? Yeah. Because the quarterback room isn't right. And the Raiders have to figure out the quarterback room. It's been so long, they've got to get that position right. And I just think for Gardner right now, he has to understand that, like, hey, you know what? We'll give you one more shot. And if not, it's the next guy up. Maybe even the aide is not back, then we're going to put the next guy in. We're just not going to tolerate that type of behavior. And I think that, it's hurting the team right now. It's hurting the defense. Defense played hard yesterday, played well enough to keep them in that game. And the other reality is the Rams aren't a very good football team right now. You know, so we're losing to the Rams, and you know, the season high 4 turnovers. Everything about it is bad, and I just think that there's some really tough decisions that have to be made right now.
Rich, the bright spot on offense is Bowers. He's incredible. He can run every route. His hands, his discipline. The route running is spectacular, and we knew that really coming in from Georgia and his blocking downfield. What did you see in this game? And let me step ahead. Now I think defensive coordinators are going to start saying, let's bring a linebacker closer. Let's put our hands on him. Let's bring a safety over the top. Break down the performance of Brock Bowers.
I don't care what defensive coordinators do. I'll take my chances with Brock Bowers. Guys, I'm just telling you, if I were playing quarterback right now for the Raiders, I'd look for Brock Bowers every play. He was targeted 14 times yesterday. He had 10 catches. I think that number, he needs to be targeted 30 times. He's the best weapon that they have. I mean, he, you know, I don't see anybody covering him, whether it's a linebacker, the safeties, they try and double him. I think the best thing the Raiders can continue to do is feature him in the offense. I mean, he just, you know, he's such a valuable weapon right now. What they need, though, is they need some complementary pieces. And the wide receiver position has to step up. I mean, you know, 5 catches for 49 yards from that group. But Brock Bowers, my gosh, you talk about a home run. This kid is everything that you thought he'd be coming out of Georgia, and he's just a real difficult cover. And I just, he's a matchup nightmare, and I just want to continue to. Could you imagine if the quarterback play was even better?
Yeah.
What we'd be seeing from Brock Bowers?
Yeah. Brock is definitely having a time. Also, Alexander Madison also providing a great punch. You love to see his energy. I think he's in the passing game with the short passes, but yesterday had a really big day on the ground. Talk to us a little bit about what you think about Alexander Madison.
You know, there's a handful of backs, EA, in our game that just, they run hard. They're just physical. They're tough. You think about Derrick Henry, you think about Najee Harris last night. They're a little bit different in terms of their size, but you know, you look at Alexander Madison, he has some of that DNA in him. He doesn't go down easily. He finishes runs. He's one of those throwback type runners who seems to get better as the game goes on. He seems to get better with each carry. He's a type of running back that can wear a defense down over the course of a game if you give him enough carries and touches. I just think the challenge for the Raiders is, you know, you get behind in these games and you can't lean on a back like that. This kid's a talented runner. Right. You know, I've seen him play in Minnesota. You know, every time he got the chance to start or play extended periods of time, he played really, really well. I was surprised coming out of training camp that it was Zamir White, not Alexander Madison. I mean, I just think he's a bigger, more physical, more complete back. And I think we're starting to see that here the last couple of weeks.
Thank you, Rich. We'll talk to you next week. Have a great week.
See you guys.
There he is, the former MVP. He made a lot of good points about that. Coming up next, we're going to go into the locker room at SoFi Stadium, hear what some of the players said after the game. A lot of emotion there yesterday. Another loss for the Raiders. They have to pick it up as we continue on Raiders Roundtable.
Hey Raider Nation, when you come to see the Raiders take the field at Allegiant Stadium, you should do it from the best seats in the house. So grab an ice cold Coors Light, and you can enter to win tickets for these Coors Light silver seats at Allegiant Stadium. With plush seating, state-of-the-art beverage coolers, and wireless phone chargers, there's no better place to watch your Raiders bring home the win. Celebrate responsibly.
It's in our very nature to find exhilaration in the new, to seek the excitement of the unexpected, an endless yearning to experience what lies beyond the everyday.
Dude, you're looking ice cold.
You look ice cold, bro. Guys, somebody's coming. Somebody's coming.
Let's do it.
There comes a day
When I'll be the one
you dream. It's gonna be Ray.
Dude, are you crying?
How are you feeling?
I'm good. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Hey Raider Nation, when you come to see the Raiders take the field at Allegiant Stadium, you should do it from the best seats in the house. So grab an ice cold Coors Light, and you can enter to win tickets for these Coors Light silver seats at Allegiant Stadium. With plush seating, state-of-the-art beverage coolers, and wireless phone chargers, there's no better place to watch your Raiders bring home the win. Celebrate responsibly.
Raiders Roundtable is brought to you by Coors Light. Choose chill, an official beer of Raider Nation. Celebrate responsibly. 2024, Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. America First Credit Union, the official credit union of the Las Vegas Raiders. All right, welcome back, everybody. Let's take a look at our shows. We got to get back to work this week.
Yes,
we got Kansas City coming to town Wednesday. Raiders rundown. Look forward to that with Levi Edwards and Big Lincoln Kennedy. The Silver and Black Show. There's Amber Theo Harris. And your team on Raiders game day as you wrap it up. Your teammates right there.
Man, I tell you what, it's been exciting so far this season. Got to get some wins, though, JT.
Yeah.
The shows are so much more exciting when you're getting those wins. Hopefully this week we can start off with the Kansas City Chiefs.
Well, whenever you have the world champs in town and they're undefeated, you got to play much better.
That's right.
Let's jump into what the players said after the game. Brock Bowers was the big star. Here he is in front of his locker.
Are you able to appreciate how well you're playing right now?
I mean, I see stuff on Twitter and stuff, but our focus as a team is to win games, so you get on that track.
What do you think is happening with this team? Self-inflicted wounds. Why are they struggling to get past that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know why, but it just keeps happening. We need to fix it. So, whatever.
Okay,
he's
the throwback.
I love Brock.
NFL films came around before that. Now, you can put that in black and white TV from the 50s.
That's right.
He's not there. He's not there to talk. He's there to catch the ball and win games. It's great every time we throw him. This guy is completely locked in.
You know what? That's the same kind of attitude I had when I spoke with him right after he was drafted. He came in the building and same thing. Hey, let's get the football. That's basically it. But you kind of imagine this young guy and what he's seeing each and every week. He's seeing double teams. He's seeing guys chip him, and he's still able to be so successful. I just love his demeanor. He's all about getting after it. He's one of the guys on our football team right now who we can count on to show up each and every week. And he's going to perform at his best. I love the fact that you can line him up all over the place. And when Myers gets back, I think we'll see even more of a person who can make those plays in the end zone where we need to make plays.
Yeah, now let's get to Alexander Madison, who had another good game, and he was asked about not going for it on fourth down and kicking the field goal.
No one can really understand what it's like to be in that position, to have to call a certain call, and I respect it, I understand it. We definitely trusted our defense to go out there and shut them down. They did that, and we just have to make sure that on offense we can march down the field and go finish the game.
All right, I disagree with the decision because I don't think they were going to get down there again because they struggled all day. And the play that really bothered me was the check down to Brock Bowers at the goal line. I think he's got to be running that route in the end zone, or you throw a fade to him. Right. Just get Brock going. He was the best player on the field. Take 3 shots with him. They went to him in the end zone. It looked like he was tackled. Right. There should have been a flag.
Yeah, should have been a flag.
And then you get another opportunity to go to him. Don't go to him before the end zone. Get him in the end zone so he can make a catch and it'll be a touchdown.
Right, and that comes down to your relationship, the kind of chemistry of the quarterback and the receiver and where that ball is going to be placed. That was kind of like a rub route. We call it defensively. It's basically you're picking the defender and trying to give your player an opportunity to get wide open. And he was wide open. The defender was able to get back to it. But again, those are those timing plays where your quarterback has to throw that ball to that front pylon and your receiver has to run the route to that front pylon so he catches that ball, and it's a simple kind of walk into the end zone there. You were focusing and on the right player, but the timing of that route just wasn't there because maybe, they didn't run that route during practice with him and Brock. So maybe that was a situation where Aiden was throwing the ball and the timing was correct with Aiden. So I thought in that situation, you should have went for it because you didn't know if you're going to get down there again. Exactly. But I'm a player, and I'm not a coach, and I know that he relied on that defense because he's a defensive coach, and the defense stood up and gave the ball back to the offense. But unfortunately, we were so backed up, not able to make a play.
Speaking of the defense, here's the leader, Mad Max Crosby.
You guys haven't really been in a situation quite like this in Antonio Pierce losing 3 straight. How confident are you that you guys will be able to kind of fight through this moment?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we have a close group. We just got to find ways to play better ball, take care of the football, take the ball away more, just continue improving. That's all we can do.
I'm not worried about him, but I'll just tell you, it's frustrating for him because he's playing all out. He's one of the best players in the league. It's got to be really frustrating for him.
It is, and whenever you're in a situation like this and you're that kind of impact player, and, teams are going to count on you to make those plays. I love the fact that non-verbally, if you saw Max yesterday, man, getting the crowd pumped up, playing well, congratulating his guys when they were making plays. So I think non-verbally, he's doing a great job leadership-wise. He's always going to play to 100%, and that's never a question, but you do. When teams are not playing well, if you look at the body language of some of the stars around this league, you can kind of see, the moping around and things like that. Didn't see anything like that from Max. Saw him flying around, congratulating his teammates. And from the offensive standpoint, when you see the star of the team really hyped up, really continuing to try and be your best every day in practice, one of the comments that he made in practice, like, hey, I'm not sure, wherever I am, I'm going to be up 100%. That's all about urgency. Making sure that these football players on this team, particularly on the deep side of football, know that you need, no matter what happens on Sunday, win or loss, you need to play with a sense of urgency. And that's kind of what he's continued to do and what he's always done as a Raider.
Let's take a look around the AFC West. Kansas City is just dominant, and they went out and beat the Niners in Santa Clara. They just beat them down.
And they're not playing great right now,
No,
JT. To be honest, they're not playing great. And none of the teams in this division are playing great. It's just we have to find a way to get out of those turnovers just killing us right now.
Yeah, Chargers got a game against Arizona Monday night. The Broncos, give them credit. Look at that.
Yeah.
4-1 in their last 5 games. I think they're playing really ugly on offense, but they're finding a way to win by not turning it over.
Yes.
And playing better. And then the Raiders are at the bottom there, 2-5, and the next part of the schedule is going to be tough. We're going to be on the road for a while here. We get Kansas City at home. So it's tough sledding. So the Raiders just got to play better disciplined football. We continue to talk about the turnovers, the mistakes that are made. They got to clean it up in the building. They will try to do that because Kansas City's coming in. You make a mistake with them or 2 or 3, they'll put you away early. And we want a competitive football game. We want to see a great football game for the fans who are paying to come out here to Allegiant Stadium.
We've had some success last year against the Chiefs. And we have to find a way to kind of get back to that. Obviously, defensively, you have to play well. You have to kind of keep the ball away from Patrick Mahomes, meaning to run the football. The turnovers, we got to eliminate the turnovers. If we eliminate turnovers, it's going to be a good game here for all Raider Nation to see against those Chiefs.
We were the last team to beat them.
That's right. They're 11-0.
Christmas.
Including playoffs since then.
We're not even at Halloween yet. We can't talk about Christmas there. But the Raiders are going to have to bounce back here. They have their back up against the wall. Thanks for joining us on Raiders Roundtable.